let's blow it out. Oh, I lost my concentrator. Don't do art with a hairdryer that has to stay clean. I think that's the lesson from this. All right, I'll put that on a little tighter. All right, now let's blow it out. Hey everybody, it's Anna. Welcome back to my Fluid Art channel, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm doing another Floetrol versus Owatrol brand Floetrol comparison. A few weeks ago I compared US Floetrol to European Floetrol, Owatrol brand, to Australian Floetrol in a flip cup, and that was a really interesting test. Today I want to compare just these two in a Dutch pour. So what's interesting is I haven't done a Dutch pour using Floetrol as my pouring medium in years. Because once I discovered that you could do it just with water, tube paint and water, I was like, oh, this looks so much better, and I never went back. But there's a lot of people who they really like using Floetrol, even compared to just paint and water, and so I want to see which one of these does better in a Dutch pour or a hairdryer blowout. So I have two 10 by 20 inch canvases, identical colors, they're all the same brands, they're all mixed to the same consistency. I did a drip test of all the colors, and then based on which ones didn't flow quite as well, added a little bit more water as needed, but they're all pretty much the same consistency. We have a lovely blend of cool colors, again a color palette that I haven't used in a few years, so I'm excited to try it out. So this is the Floetrol that I usually use. This is what you can get in the United States. It's by Flood. And then this Owatrol brand is what you can commonly get in Europe. So this is their Floetrol. It's also called Easy Flow. That's the United States name for it, but it is their Floetrol. So if you live in Europe and you can't get this or it's expensive, I'm going to see whether this can work for you. The consistency of my paints are not as thin as what I would use in a paint and water Dutch pour. These still have a little bit of texture to them, but it's still quite thin. I would call this at least a medium thin, if not a thin. It flows very well off the stick, leaves just a thin trail. So I think that's going to work out okay for this. We'll see. It's thicker than what I typically use, but I think it'll still blow out okay. But I think that's all my details, so let's make some paintings. I'm going to start over here on the US Floetrol side, and this is going to be a classic rinse-it-down style Dutch pour, meaning a puddle that gets blown out more or less from the center. So I'm going to start by putting down the paint on the canvas, and then I'll blow it out to give us a nice base coat. Blowing your paint out to start can help you figure out, do you have it at a good consistency? Is it too thick or is it too thin? I like to blow on the low setting of my hairdryer when possible, so we'll see whether I can do this on low or whether I need it to be on high. Not moving very well on the low setting, so I'm going to have to use the high setting. That's fine. Let's blow it out. Oh, I lost my concentrator. Don't do art with a hairdryer that has to stay clean. I think that's the lesson from this. All right, I'll put that on a little tighter. All right, now let's blow it out. All right, I got that covered. It is definitely thicker than I like a Dutch pour paint to be, partly because I didn't have enough space in my cups to add quite enough water, but I got it covered. Let me get these edges covered and then we'll add the colors. I'm going to torch the base coat really quick just in case there are some air bubbles. Not too many. All right, so I want both of these to be a little bit off center. So instead of putting the puddle of paint right in the middle, I'm going to put it slightly below center. And then we'll figure out whether it ends up being above center or below center, but this is where I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start with Ultramarine blue. Metallic teal. Magenta, and this I'm going to put a little drops, because I don't want there to be a huge pocket of magenta. And then some metallic silver, and on top of it all, some bright aqua green. So kind of all over, but then some right in the middle there. Now I'll have to remember the order that I put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm just going to arrange these in the order that I put them. That way I can do it exactly the same over here. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of my base coat around the design. This will help it all flow across the canvas. I'm going to put a little bit more here on the top because I'm going to blow that down over the colors and then blow them out. This will be fun. I have not done a Dutch pour like this, like I said, in years. So wish me luck. Let's blow it out. Cool. All right, we have a nice little flower. There's a bunch of air bubbles, so I'm going to pop some of those. Got some natural lacing in there. Let me see whether I can get more with the torch. Yeah, the torch is actually bringing up a lot of little cells, which is cool. I don't often get that actually with a paint and water Dutch pour. So this is neat. It's a nice little organic flower shape. I don't know whether I want to change the shape of this at all. I think it probably depends on how this one blows out, because they might become a diptych, or they might just be individual pieces. I'm not sure. I don't love this section here where it's such clear separation, so I may do a little bit of straw blowing or mouth blowing to extend some of these petals, but I really like that. Even with the high setting, I was able to blow it out. I would have preferred the low setting because I think I could have had more control, but my paints were a little thick. All right, let's move on to the Owatrol side. Same colors, I'm going to put them on in the same order. I may shift this way a little bit, just so that I don't blow this one onto that one. But let's go ahead and put the base coat down. I didn't quite have enough paint there, so I'm adding just a little bit more in a couple spots. Getting my edges covered, that way I don't have to worry about it at the end. Alright, I'm going to torch this side too. I mixed up my paint yesterday, so it doesn't have all the air bubbles in it, but there's still some. Okay, let's layer the paint. Same spot, same order. Okay, I think that looks about the same as the other one had been. So I'm going to add my additional base paint here around the side. Because if you don't have enough paint, your colors will not flow. They'll just get stuck on your canvas, and you don't want that. Alright, this looks good. Let me torch that extra. And then I'm going to blow the paint over to cover, and then I will blow it out. Now it may take exactly this shape, or it may take a different shape. We'll just see how it goes. Wow! That is a crazy difference. What's funny is that when I compared these two Floetrols in a flip cup, they behaved almost identically. But here in a Dutch pour, so different. This one has lots of cell reaction, lots of like texture, pebbly kind of texture. This one is very smooth. Now, I didn't do the neatest job on the blowout, so that's my fault. But I'm just looking at these colors and going, these are not reacting. Let me see what they do if I torch it. Okay, so the torch does bring out some little pockets of those fine cells, but you can see humongous difference just between the overall look. Now, I'm not saying one is better and one is worse. This one also, less of the color, it seems, actually blew out. It feels like it's much heavier here in the middle. That may be due to the way I blew it out, I'm not sure. So let me do a little bit of tweaking, because I like the shape of this one. I want to tweak this one, and then based on how this one works on the tweaking, possibly tweak this one before I show you that close-up. Once again, this side right here is my least favorite part of the whole thing. So I'm going to take my hairdryer and blow again on this petal to see if I can improve it. I think that's a little better. The colors got a little bit muddy up here. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that now. I like that layout much better. The center is a really interesting kind of mix of colors, whereas this one, the center is very white. I'm going to see if I can bring up any more cells here. Okay, that's really cool. So this behaves actually a lot more like paint and water. This one, there's actually a textural thing too, where Floetrol, it's like often you blow it and then it kind of comes back on itself. Do you see how these petals were like blown out and then they're kind of smushing back in? So I'm going to blow them a little bit further. Let me get this one out of the way so I can tweak this one, because I would love to make this one a little bit wider, kind of like this one has become. Okay, I think I like that better. I like the petals a little bit more extended instead of round. These edges here got a little bit wispy and messy, but it's not bad. Okay, so let me give these both one final torch, and then I'll bring you in for a close-up. These are so interesting. They turned out similar, obviously, but so different that I don't know that I'd want them to be a diptych. Alright, let me take you in. So this one turned out much more turquoise, and it got a lot more natural cells. So do you see those tiny little, well, there's different pockets of cells. Some of them were created by the torch, and some of them came up naturally. So like right here in that blue section, those all came up naturally. That was just sort of the texture of how it blew out with the Floetrol. And then certain other cells I created with a torch, other pockets and things. But overall, this one is slightly more muted. It's like the colors got a little bit more blended with the white, but they also reacted more. Over on this side, the colors stayed much more pure, which is interesting, but we had much less cell reaction. It's very watercolory, though as you can see, the torch did bring up little pockets of cells. So where you see those little bits of little tiny cells, that was from the torch. So it's nice to know that you can get a little bit of that if you want some of that nice tiny detail. This section right here is really cool. I like how the cells came up there. But overall here, the colors stayed much more solid and defined, though when I blew it out, it seemed like they were hidden by the white and I had to blow by mouth in order to bring up some of those colors. So, very interesting. I feel like definitely both of these work. Owatrol and US Floetrol work as a Dutch pour, and I think depending on your style of the look that you're going for, you would choose one or the other. So let me let these dry and then I'll show you how they look then. Okay, they're dry. They dried really well, nice and flat and beautiful. Both of them dried very similarly in terms of the sheen of the paint. I did flip this right panel up like this because I feel like it looks better as a diptych that way. So it is kind of cool if they're facing different directions. But now that it's dry, you can see the beautiful metallic teal shimmer in there. And over here, we got nice pockets of silver and teal, so that's always beautiful to see the metallic colors shining. So this was a really interesting comparison. It seems like for a Dutch pour, both the US Floetrol and the Owatrol, they work in terms of being able to mix something with your paint that will extend and thin your paint, add to the flowability of it. But then they each have their own kind of unique features. So the US Floetrol seem to be more reactive, produce more of these little white bubbles. I don't know, I don't think those are air bubbles. I'm not sure why exactly those came into it. The Owatrol side is much more pure, less blending of colors, less cell reaction, and both are very cool effects. And so depending on which one you want, you might gravitate towards one mixture or the other. But for the most part, you can use them interchangeably, it seems. They've both worked very well for flip cups, and they have both worked very well in this Dutch pour. Thank you all for joining me for this US Floetrol versus Owatrol comparison video. I hope it's given you some new information that will help you in your acrylic pouring. Let me know down in the comments, which of these looks do you prefer? I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Bye guys!